Might want to scoot over some. Hey, what's up, good people? Welcome to another Relationship Thursday. We missed y'all. We missed y'all. We're going to give y'all a chance to come on in. I'm going to give y'all a couple of minutes to come on in. Again, welcome to another Relationship Thursday. As you all I got this one.
The music.
I'm about to put the music on.
We don't. Why do you like to talk before you turn the music on?
That's how I do.
But that's not what.
That's what I'm doing. As I was saying, welcome again to another Relationship Thursday. It took us a little minute to get on tonight. We say we was going to be on at 9:15, but here we are at 9:30, and we're finally on. So thank you again for tuning in. My name is Ayize Ma'at, and if you're not tuned into us, this right here is my lovely wife, Fiona, and we're going to go ahead and get this music cranking. We got a very interesting topic for y'all tonight. So what I want y'all to do is take a minute, y'all, and some of y'all might be familiar with this song right here. I really want y'all to groove to this song. Right here tonight, we're going to be talking about really being honest, y'all.
Tell the truth.
Really being honest. What's up, 529? Really being honest tonight. We need y'all to tell the truth. Tell the truth as it pertains to your relationship. Tell the truth when it comes to you being you. Tell the truth. Tell the truth, y'all.
You know what? I just want to welcome Andre. Andre, I see you. Can you turn that down a little bit? You have to try to look at me all slow, like, no, let me have to check you on here. Look, it's a little bit loud. I mean, I'm just saying, I can't hear myself. Andre, I want to shout Andre. I don't know if I'm saying your last name correctly. Facing out because, you know, you just came on here ready. Said, we are facing divorce. Please help us. So, Andre, we're going to focus on you, and the energy of tonight will be helpful to you. You know, if you want to drop a few comments about what's going on in your marriage, Andre, then go ahead and do that. We got some people who always roll with us, and I know that they will have some good insight for you, like my man Devontae Johnson, who's always
what's up, Devontae?
Holding it down. And we already talked about my sis 529. But yeah, like you said, please help us. We are facing divorce. And so the reality is that there are truths that have to be told in order for you to get to the next level in your relationship. You know what I mean? Like there's a truth that you have to be willing to tell yourself about some things, and there's a truth you have to be willing to tell your partner. How many times do you find yourself at a crossroads moment? A crossroads moment when you're in the house and you kind of pause and you could lean in and say something, but you don't want to hear all that yah, so you don't do it. Mm-hmm. You know, how many times are you at a crossroads moment when you're on the phone and you're like, you know, we need to deal with this, but you just get quiet. How many people have the habit of shutting down, right? Tonight, we're going to talk about the truths that have to happen and the value of telling the truth.
Yeah. Telling
the truth. Devontae said, pin your website, please. So we will do that, Devontae, tonight. Thank you. Mm-hmm. We will definitely pin our website. So what's going on, YouTube? We see y'all. I see you, Bryant. Bryant is one of our regulars. What's going on? I see you, Natalie.
What's up, Natalie?
Natalie's representing Canada. Mm-hmm. And I see you, Terry. What's going on, Terry? And James Bush, a first timer. What's up, James? Welcome to the show.
I got a question for y'all. How many of y'all actually struggle with telling the truth in your relationship? I mean, you understand the necessity of doing so, but you struggle with really telling the truth. And not just telling the truth to your partner, but telling the truth to yourself.
Oh, we got hands raising.
Yeah, I mean, how many of y'all find yourselves in a space right now where you're in a situation in your relationship and it's based off of the fact that you haven't been honest with yourself? Who's in that situation? I see some people are saying me right here. Who's in that situation where it's because of the decisions that you've made and the fact that you turned a blind eye to what decisions you've made that you find yourself in a messed up space?
That's a lot of hands.
In a messed up situation. So again, Tonight, y'all, we're going to be talking about telling the truth. The first person you got to tell the truth to is yourself.
Yeah.
You got to tell the truth to yourself, y'all. So I picked this topic and I discussed this topic with my wife because we've encountered a number of people, whether it be working with couples or whether it be working with individuals that got these blinders up, got these guards up, are in this self-protective mode because they're afraid of being seen, afraid of being exposed, afraid of seeing themselves. Again, y'all, the first step, you got to tell the truth. You got to make sure that you are willing to.
And, you know, I love what James just said. James said, I'm going to he said, truth and context. As individuals, we know the truth, but in relationships, everyone can't handle what you deliver. And, you know, James, I appreciate you dropping that, because I think a lot of times we don't tell the truth to our partner, you know, not the full truth. And we don't do it even with ourselves, because we don't think that they can handle it. Or we like, you know what, it's going to go to another level. And I don't, you know, I don't want to hurt their feelings. I don't want them to think this. You know, they're not going to receive it. They're going to push back. But I want to make sure that everybody knows tonight that that's not a prerequisite for telling the truth. Well, that's not a prerequisite for telling the truth. That somebody's got to be willing to receive it. That somebody's got to be able to handle it. That they've got to be willing to take the package and open it once you've given it to them. That's not a prerequisite. When we tell the truth, really, particularly in relationships, when I've been in a position where I had to tell the truth to my husband, you know, just in different situations. I'm trying to think of an example. I think of an example, I'll pull it up and share it with y'all. Pull it up out of my brain and share it with y'all. You know, like, it's about me. It's about my own. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't feel okay to do it. Like, as soon as if I say something or I put something out there, then all of a sudden my codependent button kicks in. I want to take it back, or I want to, you know what I'm saying? I want to qualify it. Yeah. You know, like, but what I mean is, but you know, I want to make it feel better. I don't want him to take it the wrong way. But the reality is that, what do we mean when we say we don't want somebody to take it the wrong way? The way they need to take it is the way they need to take it. That's not my responsibility. So back to what I was saying, the prerequisite is not for you to figure out how they're going to take it. You just have to make sure that you are being genuine and honest and transparent and responsible in how you deliver the truth, and that you're doing it because for you as a person, particularly if you struggle with being truthful, that you make sure that you do your work. And for many of us, that's just opening up our mouths. It's just putting pen to paper and saying what it is and speaking the truth. That's, for many of us, we just struggle. Yeah. We struggle. Yeah, I want to say what's up to Stephanie. Hey, Stephanie Maxwell. She's a sister who's always dropping in. So, Stephanie, we appreciate you.
All right, so check this out, y'all. So before we share these 7 truths that you will experience in your relationship, what we would like for you all to do is share. Please share this video. Please share this live stream. You know, it's important that if you get some benefit, some value from this live stream, that I'm certain that other people that you share this with will as well. So please go ahead and share. We've seen that some people have already shared, and we really, really appreciate that. So let's go ahead and get this thing started, y'all. So again, 7 relationship truths that you need to know.
And Andre, I'm still looking for your comments, my brother. I'm looking for your comments because we checking for you tonight. Sierra is new. Hello, Sierra. We see you, sis. Welcome.
Okay. So relationship truth number 1. Number 1, y'all. And this is really an important one. And you know what I have listed here. I'm going to take a look at my notes really quickly. And we've spoken about this on a number of occasions, and not only do we speak about it from our professional experience. I'm not sure if we shared in the beginning, but both of us were licensed therapists. And so as licensed clinicians, we do this on a daily basis, on a regular basis, but we don't just rest on that. My wife and I, we've been married now for 16 years. We just celebrated our anniversary.
We did.
Yeah, we went horseback riding and did all of that. So
biting the other horse's butt and all kind of stuff. Yeah. I was like, this is not for me today. But I appreciate it. You took me out of my comfort zone. And I took you out of your comfort zone when I took you to the.
Yeah, you took us to the winery.
To the winery. He was like, the winery. I was like, let's go to the winery and
y'all see we got I got the good old Merlot
get some education about wines. And he was like, okay. Well, we were sitting in that joint. We was listening to the white folks was playing the music, and we was having a good time. Well, we were sitting there drinking the wine, tasting. And we had a good time. So you got to do that. Thank you for the happy anniversary wishes. You got to be able to take each other out of your comfort zone, even if it makes you a little irritable, because them horses had me irritable.
Baby, and you were making me irritated by the fact that you were irritated. I was getting mad at you by being mad at the horses.
You weren't following the instructions, though, boo. The lady said, keep the horses apart. and don't come up next to each other, be in a single line, and you kept smiling and like trying to come up close on my horse.
I was really acting like I had control of the horse.
You had a little too much confidence.
I really did.
That confidence made me nervous. Like, this horse about to throw you off and then trample me.
Why you on the horse?
While I'm on my other horse. My other horse? The other horse. All right, y'all. Let's get to it. Okay.
All right, y'all.
Go with the first one.
So the first
wait a minute. I'm sorry. I just want to say, because I saw our comrades, Moncho and Nawasha Edu. If you're in the New Jersey area, Moncho and Nawasha Edu, New Jersey, New York, they are comrades of ours. They're in the relationship maintenance game, and they are spiritually centered, African centered. They focused on doing what we need for our people. So, go ahead and drop a link or whatever so people know how to find you as well, Moncho and Nawasha. But it was somebody else I saw
Cuzzo hopped on. What's up, Cuzzo?
No. Who? Kamani?
Yeah.
Look, how I know you did that? Oh, Katia. Hi, Kamani. Katia Lawton. I just wanted to say hello to you because you knew. All right, Katia. All right, baby. Go ahead and break it down with the first one.
All right, so the first one, y'all.
What's going on, Reginald? Woody?
Can I get to my point?
I know. I just,
All right.
Oh, wait a minute, Shay.
Really?
What's up? Hi, Shay. I mean, we've been gone for 2 weeks, but I feel like it's like 2 years. Like, hey.
All right, y'all. So number one, the only door to relationship growth is the one that's labeled risk and vulnerability. The only door to relationship growth is the one that's labeled risk and vulnerability. I can't tell you how many times in our relationship where we've had the opportunity to go to the next level. And what is required of me is to really step into a space of vulnerability and take a risk with my wife. Take a risk for me to share what I feel uncomfortable about, what it is that I'm feeling that I'm challenged with, with insecurities that I may have. And so to be able to expose those things, what it's doing is really me exposing myself and being naked in front of my wife, being vulnerable and letting her know what I feel my shortcomings are. And then also having the courage to ask for help in that process. So through that process and through that experience, through the process and experience of me being vulnerable and me taking a risk, what it is that I'm doing is I'm letting my wife know that I'm actually trying to go to another level by her taking my hand and holding my hand through that process and allowing me this safe space to be able to share what's going on internally. And so if I don't feel like I can get out what's going on internally, then again, it won't allow me the opportunity.
It's like, ooh, this is a little different. Because we haven't, when I say different, I mean, so we'll do this topic another day, but relationships evolve and change over time. So as we get to know ourselves more individually, the ways that we show up in our relationships change. And sometimes it's a problem for me and it's a problem for him. It's like, that ain't what you've been doing for the last 16 years. And so we were having some real good conversation, which I do think we need to talk about that and create a lesson around that in another live stream. But my point is the level of safety that was present when we were away for our anniversary, the type of conversation that we were having. Do you feel like that level of safety has always been there in our relationship? Like if you felt, when we talk about safety, we're talking about comfort. We're talking about, like I'm not going to be attacked, like I can be myself, like I can say what I really feel. And even if you don't understand it or you don't agree with it, that you're going to allow me to be me. And the reason I'm asking that question of you is because we can talk about that, but a lot of times, I mean, I don't say most, but a lot of people don't have that. They don't have that. Like that's the key ingredient. I think that's where you were getting ready to go. That's the key ingredient, that I have created a space of safety, meaning I know how to control my mouth. I know how to have some discipline. That sometimes you talking and I'm thinking, what is this man talking about? This is the same old stuff he's been saying for the last 5 years, and I'm tired of this bullshit. That's what I be thinking in my mind. But I'm like, I'm just listening. I'm quiet. And everybody doesn't have that level of control, especially if your buttons get pushed and that kind of thing. And so, what do you do? What do you do when your partner ain't creating a safe space and yet vulnerability, right? Vulnerability and risk. That's the door you need to go through in order to have the kind of relationship that you really want to have. Because everybody ain't going to give you that. You know what I'm saying? Like you always talk about how I create that space, But
So,
a lot of
yeah,
people ain't
so-
getting that space. What you gonna do?
So again, that's a different lesson for a different day.
A
No,
little bit.
it is, and because what you're asking is what do you do in the event that that safe space isn't present, and so that's not the direction I'm trying to go.
What?
The direction, I mean, it's an important question to answer.
You can engage it. It's like trying to shut it down
It's an
right
important
now.
question to answer, but it's so deep and it's so multi-layered that again, it's a topic in and of itself. Look,
Michelangelo said, "Tough area for me." Michael, are you talking about this? I mean, you talking about this in terms of being vulnerable? What you talking about? Say some more about that. I guess I just felt the need to lift that up because if I'm looking at this and I'm listening to us and I'm like, oh, that's great. You guys have a safe space and you all created that. That's fabulous. And what am I supposed to do? Because we don't yet have that. Or I might be trying to attempt to get to that space in my relationship, but my partner is like defensive as a mug. They ain't know. I'm trying to create a safe space and they take my safety as an attack, right?
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
That's the how-to. But so what I don't want you all to do is to miss
I'm not going on what we're saying. I'm just listening to what people are probably thinking or feeling.
So we were to do that through all of these 7 points, then we would be.
She said, what do you do? All ears.
So I get that. I get the what do you do. But we're jumping to the what do you do without really fully understanding the question or even understanding the statement. And so I don't want us to be premature in our approach and overlook the statement because we're trying to find a solution. The statement was the only door to relationship growth.
It's all good. We'll keep going.
The only door to relationship growth is the one that's labeled risk and vulnerability. And so it's important for you to underscore the only door. What this means is that your relationship will not grow. It will not grow unless you go through the pathway of experiencing risk and vulnerability. And so you're asking the question, what do you do? How do you do it? The first thing is to recognize that you got to go through it. You got to experience those two things in order for you to encounter and even receive or experience the growth. You have to. You have to. And once you internalize the fact that it's not going to grow unless I recognize that that's the only way, then you can figure out that what do I do in order to actually go through it? But some people are trying to figure out, you jump so fast to how do I do it? What do I do? What's the next step? That you aren't internalizing the fact that this is the only way. This is the only way. And so I really want you all to underscore that point because you won't get to what it is that you're looking for unless you really understand that the only way to relationship growth is through risk and vulnerability.
Mm-hmm.
What you think?
No, I'm with you on that. I mean, what comes up for me is that when I just think about people probably thinking like, that's great, but my partner is not really with it. Or they may say they're with it, but they just be like, pushing back, or they're not really trying to engage me and that kind of thing. I think that what you said is timely, and that's irrelevant. Just the same way I said that the prerequisite for telling the truth is not whether or not your partner will receive it. This is about your own personal, like, what am I going to do? How am I going to show up? Even if I don't get the response that I want, it's the same thing.
Yeah, so we'll tackle some of those.
Vulnerability is
so I want you all to
where you got to be.
Yeah,
Are you going to be there or not? Make a decision. Are you going to be there or not? If you're in a relationship and you're trying to have a for real relationship, then that's where you need to be.
And so we'll definitely touch on, what to do and how to do it and stuff throughout the rest of these points right here, and also on future live streams. You want to go ahead and take number 2?
I can take number 2. So this kind of goes well with the first thing. So your partner has a lesson to teach you. They have a lesson to teach you. All relationships, all couples, all persons who are in committed relationships, they've been linked up for a long time. There is a reason that you all have been attracted to each other. And I say this all the time, but it's fascinating to me. It's fascinating that whatever it is that attracts you to your partner usually is something that you do not have inherently within you. Yeah. When I say you don't have it, I don't mean you don't have access or you don't have it at all. I'm saying that it's not maybe necessarily your strength. So, for example, my husband, I'm just going to be real general and broad with my terms. This doesn't mean I'm not compassionate, but he is a very compassionate person. You know what I'm saying? I've said this many times, he's very thoughtful. He's a listener. He's going to lean in and give you the benefit of the doubt off the top. And I am not that I'm not compassionate, but how would you describe me?
You just take a minute to exhibit compassion.
I take a minute. I'm like, yeah, but you need to be accountable and you need to get yourself together and whatever, right? So my point is, and just that little quick example, is that you're attracted to your partner for a reason. And so my husband has been able to teach me and show me that everything doesn't always need to be processed, checked, and wait a minute, I don't know. Sometimes you just need to let kind of like spirit come in the room. You need to just let your ego fall to the ground. Sometimes just, you know what I'm saying, just be there for whoever you're dealing with. He has been there for me when I didn't deserve for him to be there for me. Ooh, not based on how I had been showing up for him, you know? So at the same time, my husband, you know, has at times kind of extended himself and been there for folks who I'm like, you need to set a boundary, and boundaries might be something that you need to work on strengthening. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. You know, and I'll set a boundary in a hard, hot minute. Like, nope, we're not doing that, right? So what do we mean by this? You got so much. You don't have to be focused on, my partner is not with me. They're not on the same vibe. They're not even watching this with me. They're not trying to see what I have to say. They think that I'm trying to run game. They take things the wrong way. You don't even need to worry about that. That's the question that I pose. That's not even your concern, because there is a lesson that they're supposed to be teaching you and that you're supposed to be teaching them. If, it's a big if, you are willing to watch, listen, learn, and apply. Watch, listen, learn, and apply. So if you focus on that, what is it I'm supposed to be getting from them? Then they will, because you are modeling it, because your energy is not focused on the fact that they're so daggone oppositional. Your energy is focused on what you're trying to, you know, like, what am I supposed to be getting from this? You know, just all I need to figure out for me personally, when I'm real irritated, agitated, blown, upset, I don't understand what's going on. All I have to do is figure out, like, what am I supposed to be getting from this? I might not be happy about it, but if I can try to pull from the atmosphere what the lesson is, then I might be pissed off about that lesson because I don't want that motherfucking lesson, right? But then I can focus in on that. I don't have time to focus on Ayize and the fact that he's not giving me the attention that I need, or he's not doing this, or he's not listening to me. I don't have time to focus on that because I'm struggling with that lesson. I might be pushing that lesson. It might be yanking me back, but I'm focused on that. So remember, your partner is here to teach you something. And when you have that awareness and you have that knowledge, then it's your responsibility to find out in every situation, every irritation, right? Every confrontation, what the hell am I supposed to be getting from this? And that's a you and God thing. That's a you and yourself thing. That's not your partner. They're there divinely to help prompt you to that, but they ain't even all up in that. So you ain't got to worry about them. And as soon as you start doing that, watch how the energy flows. They're going to start doing some things too.
And that's true, you know, and you know, one of the things that people often come to us for, they're coming to us in a space of distress and they're looking for relationship healing. And that's wonderful. This lesson of watch, listen, learn, and apply, it doesn't necessarily have to be as a result of you experiencing some relationship difficulty. So I think that it's important that we lift up that when it comes to you being a student of your spouse, a student of your partner, it's important that you recognize that it can occur when you experience good times as well as it can occur when you're experiencing bad times. There's been a number of times where I've learned some priceless lessons, some extremely valuable lessons from my wife, just based off of her being her, and we weren't in a space of distress. I watch my woman move. I watch her work. I watch her do her. And as a result, it actually inspires me. I know when I'm outside playing basketball, or when I was playing basketball, you know, what I would do is I would often reference, when I got to the 3-point line, I would reference Ray Allen. So I would be shooting threes, Ray Allen, when I'm playing with my brothers, my cousins, or whomever. Ray Allen, now Steph Curry, shooting the threes. And so, you know, I'm doing that because I'm actually visualizing in my mind what they did, what they do, and how they're dropping buckets. And I'm trying to imitate them as I'm shooting a jet. And so there's a number of areas in my life where I actually call on my wife. She ain't aware of this, but I'm thinking about how she moves, how she flows, how she does her. And I'm using the inspiration that I get from her, from me studying her. Oh, yeah. And I apply it to myself and how I can move and how I can flow. Again, you got to be a student of your partner. Be a student of your partner and make sure that you're not just studying them. You're not just studying them when it comes to the bad times, but you're studying them even in the good times too. It's priceless lessons you can get from your partner, but you got to be willing to watch, listen, learn, and apply.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things that I would ask my wife, and this would probably irritate her, back in the day, I knew it would irritate her, and I also ask my children this question too. But I would ask them if they don't understand something that I've done or that I'm saying, actually that I've done. Why do you think that I'm doing what it is that I'm doing? Because I can verbalize, I can give you the explanation, I can give you my reason, my rationale, but I want you to think, I want you to put yourself in my position, and I want you to answer that question. Why do you think that I'm doing what I'm doing? Why do you think that it is that I'm saying? Why? And so when you extend beyond you just listening to me and retorting back what it is that I'm saying to you, you actually dig deep and you go within and you come up with a solution that you think of based off of my experience, based off of you watching me, witnessing me, and trying to get an understanding of how it is that I flow. What that does, it enhances your understanding of me as a person, and you're watching, you're listening, you're learning, and you can possibly apply if you extract some lesson and some value from what it is that you're seeing.
Natalie, you said a little bit ago, Natalie on YouTube, give an example, elaborate. I want to drop another comment. Let us know what you're asking us to give an example about. Okay, so we can make sure we do that. All right, so I want to acknowledge that someone said,
Devontae say, I try this all the time. Put yourself in my point of view.
Mm-hmm.
It's really important.
Michael said, I'm good at studying during the bad times, and that is something I'm trying to adjust. I guess
we get lazy, yo. We do. We get lazy. We get extremely lazy.
That's true.
Why are you saying it like that?
Because I agree. You do get lazy.
You get lazy too.
I don't get lazy.
Yes, you do.
You get lazy. I don't get lazy.
We all get lazy. We all get lazy. So you got to fight against that thing. Against studying the good times and the bad times. All right, number 3, yo. Your relationship, and this is a relationship truth, the third relationship truth of these 7. Your relationship will go through seasons. Your relationship will go through seasons. Somebody earlier on this live stream, and it's not too late to share this live stream, y'all. Somebody earlier said that they're like dealing with divorce. Yeah, I don't know what happened to the conversation. Somebody's dealing with divorce. They're really struggling in their relationship.
And Andre, we saw your comments, but you ain't said nothing else.
That your relationship, that you recognize that your relationship will go through seasons. I want you to know that, y'all. Know that your relationship will go through seasons. So if you're a newlywed, you're experiencing the euphoria, the bliss. You may have money issues. Who knows? You're having good sex. Y'all are connecting. You know, it's all peaches and cream. Y'all are enjoying each other. Y'all are, fantasizing about what y'all want to do with each other. Y'all are trying to build a life together. I didn't plug in the chart. It's right there. And so, again, it's all wonderful. It's all roses. But just as sure as you got winter, spring, summer, fall, your relationship will go through similar seasons. So I want you to know that just because you on the up right now, it doesn't mean that you're always going to stay on the up. My wife and I, we've been down. We've been down and we've been up. Mm-hmm. And so, it's important that you recognize and that you have patience through that process and know that if you're diligent in your walk, if you're focused and committed and not so rigid in how you step, then there is a possibility you can actually survive the seasons. Sometimes people enter into that winter season where you just fighting, you nagging, you got constant beef, you got money issues, you got child issues, you got whatever issues might be present, and you allow that stuff to really just kill the relationship. So the relationship dissolves, disintegrates based on the fact that you haven't applied the appropriate skills to tackle it. But you can actually survive the winter because after the winter comes spring, but you're going to go through that process. But the important thing that you recognize is that you know that it's coming and it's going as long as you're being intentional about moving through it. Right. I see P.L. Thompson asks, how long we've been married? We've been married now for 16 years as of May 27th. Together for 23. We're high school sweethearts. We got 5 wonderful children. Mm-hmm.
So Natalie expanded a little bit on her comment. I still don't think I understand. I don't know if it's my wine or what, Natalie. I mean, I don't know.
It's probably your wine.
I asked her to expand, guys, elaborate, because you said, Natalie, to give an example. And then when I asked you to tell me what you're talking about, she said risk and vulnerability, not the how do I do, but before that, going through. I don't even understand that.
Okay.
Do you? When you say going through, I don't know. I mean, I guess the whole risk and vulnerability, it's like those moments and those times, those spaces where, like I have those times with my husband where he may ask me something or he may say something to me, and I'm at the point now in my personal walk where I'm aware that I'm kind of fronting. Like I'm trying to like maintain an image. Like, nah, I mean, I ain't tripping off that. You know, he may say something like, you know, are you concerned about, this is a real generic example, and I don't know if this answers your question, but I hope it is. He may ask me, are you concerned about how so-and-so is going to feel about blah, 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 because you had, I'm like, you know what? Because look, I got to do what I got to do for me. I'm not tripping off that. No. I mean, because, and then I start to, you know, rationalize whatever it is he's talking about and talk about why it, you know, I'm okay and I'm right and whatever. But if I was to come from a truly vulnerable place, Natalie, then, you know, I would talk about the fact that even though I know that I'm doing the right thing and I know that I'm in the right place, like I still want them to be okay with me. You know, I want them to be okay with me, and I'm feeling unsure. So what we're talking about when we talk about vulnerability is these places. It's not a one size fits all. It's certain things make certain people feel a little exposed, a little, you know what I'm saying, a little out there. And so you got to figure out what those spaces are for you in your relationship. And it may be in your particular relationship you're in right now. And if you're not in a relationship, look at your history. Like, when do you start to like be defensive? When do you start to shut down? When do you start to say, like, I'm not talking about this anymore. This is stupid. This is dumb. Those are the opportunities that you have to actually get vulnerable, to say how you're really feeling. But you cannot share with other people what you are not aware of. You cannot give what you do not have. And so oftentimes we sabotage our relationships, and people are done with us because we have so little insight about what's going on with us that we push them off thinking like, whatever, it's not even that deep. And it is that deep. Mm-hmm. And you just stupid because you don't know it. Mm-hmm. You don't know because you don't know yourself. So vulnerability, you want to be looking for the spaces. Where do I feel awkward? That's where I need to lean in. Where do I feel a little funky? That's where I need to pause. That's your measuring stick for what you need to do, whether it's in your intimate relationship or with, you know, with your girlfriends or your boys or whatever. Like, wherever you start to feel a little, you know, everybody knows when you're feeling a little exposed, a little bit like this is a little too much. This is uncomfortable. I don't do that. And what we often do is say, I don't do that. I don't, you know, I hear women say a lot of times, you know, I'm getting off topic a little bit, but I hear women say, you know, I don't do women. I don't like women. Mm-hmm. Oh no, I can't stand when they say, I don't like females. I don't do females because they got so much drama. I'm like, I don't like females. You know, I don't like that word, females, right? But that's a defense mechanism. That's a defense mechanism, man. And all that is being willing to be vulnerable to tell the females in your life what you need. Ooh. Mm-hmm. And so instead of that, you just say, I don't do them. I like to hang with dudes, or some of my best buddies are guys. So that's exactly what we mean when we talk about vulnerability. Where do you feel? Just start to track yourself over the next 7 days. Start to track yourself in your relationship or wherever you want to track. You can be with your girlfriends, whatever. You know what I mean? Like, start to track yourself and see when you start to feel some type of way. But you got to have a certain level of connection to your own feelings to know that you feel a little awkward, you feel a little odd, and then you can note that, and then you from there can make an action plan, Natalie, about how you can lean in and do something different.
Mm-hmm. And if even after or even during this live stream, if you can identify one area or one thing that you know you need to take a risk with or be vulnerable in, then do that. Write that thing down. My wife, she often says that, you know, you got to take notes. So, you know, do that and write down something that, or an area that you can be vulnerable in, or something that you definitely need to take a risk in, as it pertains to your relationship, or just, you know, for you personally.
Mm-hmm. Yes. All right, but what I did?
You're about to mess up.
No, I'm not. All right, go to the next one.
All right, I did the last one.
I was doing all that talking and you did the last one?
That's because you be bumping your gums.
No, I did not. I just did this.
Natalie said, I usually started talking and you interjected.
What? This was not mine.
No.
Listen, learn, and apply. It was mine.
That was the last one.
That was.
But then I just did this one. We on number 4 now.
The hell? Can you do it?
Yeah.
Thank you. I'm tired of talking.
All right, so number 4, y'all. You know, and again, we're talking about 7 relationship truths that you need to know. Why you want to elbow my arm?
You're like in the way.
7 relationship truths that you need to know. Please share if you have not already shared, and we love y'all and thank y'all. What are you doing?
Braid your beard.
Your relationship will get better when you/y'all get better. Your relationship will get better when you or y'all get better. A lot of times people want to point the finger and make their partner responsible for the status of their relationship. You chose your partner. You picked your partner. You decided to be in this relationship for the length of time that you decided to be in it. You're walking in this relationship. So the current status of your relationship is based off of what you've contributed to it. You got to own that thing. You got to take responsibility and own that thing. Your relationship is what it is today based off of what you have done and have not done in it. And so it's important that you recognize that if you want things to shift, if you want things to change, you got to show up differently. You got to. So your relationship will improve. Your relationship will get better when you or y'all get better. It's as simple as that. Mm-hmm. You can't overlook, you can't minimize that truth. When you make a shift, when you make a change, it's going to get better.
And here's an action step for this. So in terms of getting better in your relationship, you need to ask for opportunities. Ask for opportunities, okay? And what that basically means is that, you know, particularly when we've been with a partner for some time, we pretty much figure we know them really well. So we start to assume things. We assume we know what they want, what they're looking for, what they're thinking, you know, and we stop, you know, really engaging them and seeing like, wait a minute, maybe I need to show up a little bit differently. And the reality is that people change, y'all. People change. People's insight changes, their feelings change, their awareness changes. So you have to ask for opportunities to show up different, to give them what they need in a different way, and to get what you need in a different way. So make sure that you like literally ask. Mm-hmm. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, how, you know, this used to work, but this don't seem like it work no more. So what is it that I can do differently? If you do that, that's going to make a big difference.
And hold on. And it's really akin to, if you look at the weight loss process, you know, not everybody wants to lose weight, but a lot of people want to lose weight. And so, you know, let me ask you this question. How do you lose weight? How do you lose weight? Y'all can go ahead and throw out some answers. How do you lose weight?
And you stop putting so much stuff in your mouth.
No, I want to see what the people say. Like, I mean, like how do you
don't eat so much?
How do you
exercise?
Okay, so you throwing some of the answers out there. Reduce calories. I see reduce calories. Okay, so we'll talk about reducing calories. We'll talk about exercise, et cetera, et cetera.
Natalie, it's all good. We know it's no offense, sis.
Natalie said lettuce. You have to work at exercise, detox, et cetera, et cetera.
I'm not a big fan of lettuce.
Yeah. And so everybody knows what to do. Everybody knows what to do to lose weight, but a lot of people struggle in the area of losing weight. I was listening or watching something the other day, and what it was saying is that, you know, 95% of the people who have gym memberships don't get the results that they're looking for. So
95.
Yeah, everybody is rushing and running out here to get a gym membership, but the majority of the people, 95% of the people, don't get the results that they're looking for. And so everybody's providing solutions. Everybody knows intellectually what the answers are to solving problems. But when it comes to you actually making a shift and making a change, it's not the intellectual process that's exclusively required in order for the change to occur. Mm-hmm. It has to be an emotional process that actually takes hold and carries you over, because you're going to feel like sometimes you don't want to do it. You're not going to like to do it. And so, you know, it's important that you recognize that when it comes to your relationship will get better when you get better. You got to do your work. And one truth about doing your work is that it's going to hurt. It's going to hurt. The first truth that we mentioned was risk and vulnerability. That don't feel good, y'all. Mm-hmm. It does not feel good whatsoever. You growing in your relationship is going to hurt. It's going to be uncomfortable. It's going to be a challenge because it's a change. And so when you make the shift and you're challenging yourself and you're experiencing the change, there's discomfort in that process. It's going to hurt. I just recently started, or I got back into working out, and I'm hurting right now. I'm sore. My muscles are hurting. My abs are hurting. My legs are hurting. I don't feel good right now. But I'm sitting here in front of y'all in pain. But I realize that in order for me to get the results, I got to sit here hurting. And so in order for you to experience the growth in your relationship, you're going to experience some pain in order for you to get the results that you're looking for. So again, you got to embrace and accept that reality. It's not all pain, but pain is going to be present.
And look, expect anything worthwhile, anything that's worthwhile to take a long time. Anything. So it's not going, you ain't going to get no like, boo, you've been really changing. You've been really doing some things. Right, Shay? Do your work. Do your work. It's going to take a while. It's going to take a while for you to get it, for you to reinforce in your spirit what you need to be doing. It's going to take a while for your partner to notice all that stuff. Expect anything that's worthwhile to take a long time. So here's the next thing I really want people to understand. This is a basic relationship truth. If you're not making mistakes, you're not taking enough risks. Oh, if you're not making mistakes, you're not taking enough risks. Everybody, we have couples come out and say, we don't really argue. We haven't had, we just having a little bump right now, but we don't, by and large, I remember this particular couple, but it's been more than just them. We don't really get into it. We just, beyond that, I'm like, for real? Then your relationship is probably pretty plastic. And what I mean by that is that it's fake. It's not real, because real people have real issues with real reactions and real feelings in real time. Damn, that was good. In real time. You understand what I'm saying? So you're going to make some mistakes. You're not going to have it all together. And so don't think because I don't put anything negative out there. I just keep it all to myself, and I don't disturb the atmosphere of my relationship. Like, that means you're mature? No, that might mean you're codependent. It might mean that you need to learn how to give volume to your voice. It might mean that your partner is challenging you, and the lesson that they're here to teach you is to open up your mouth and to say what it is you need and what it is that you see, regardless if they get mad. Maybe that's what they're challenging you to do, right? So I want you to understand that you really have to be willing to make some mistakes. And if you're not making a lot of them, you're playing it safe, then you're playing a fake. In a fake relationship, I'm not saying a fake relationship can, on the surface, be pleasant. But for most people who are coming to us and are vibing with us in our sphere, y'all ain't for that surface stuff. No. Y'all for that deep stuff. You want that deep connection. You want hands clasped. You want to be able to really allow your souls to kiss. And if that's what you want, then you got to be okay with the fact that you're going to make some mistakes. And if you're not what? Taking enough risks. Yeah. You're not.
All right. So another relationship.
This is the last one.
No, we got two more.
Well, I got one more after this, and then we done.
Can you stop rushing?
I'm just saying, I'm getting clear. I'm just getting clear. People got to go to work tomorrow.
I understand that.
Oh, can I say this real quick? LaShanta says, and I'm sorry, sweetheart, if I'm not saying that your name LaShanta or LaShante, I'm not sure, but I think it's LaShanta. Ayize, I must be honest, I am a very vindictive person. This is what LaShanta is sharing. Excuse me. I don't spend time plotting, but if the opportunity presents itself, I don't turn a blind eye. My spouse is mean, feels entitled, and never listens. How do I cross this bridge with him? So you're vindictive and your spouse is mean and feels entitled. Ooh, what y'all think about that? I want to see some comments from folks. That's right, Marsha, Nawasha. Mistakes equal growth. I just want to throw that out there, but that was directed towards you.
Oh, okay. There wasn't a question that was asked, but I think that she was probably.
How do I cross this bridge with him?
Yes, I'm sorry, I looked at the first part.
Are you like, why the hell you read this question to me right now? God damn it. I'm trying to move on to my next point.
Yeah, I'm thinking about my next point. I'm sorry. And so again, you got to do your work. I mean, that's really what it boils down to. I mean, we've said that in order for your relationship to grow. Yeah. And again, so when we lift up the fact that in order for your relationship to grow, you got to grow. What we're saying is this, is that you might grow yourself about the relationship. And I think that it's a reality that we got to be comfortable with embracing. That the person that you're with right now, you may have chosen that person based off of the fact that you were operating from a space of deficiency, of weakness, of less than, of coming up short, of inadequacy, of low self-esteem, of insecurity. And so you chose somebody to reflect back to you what it was that you were putting out. And so that person may not necessarily be the right person for you. Just because you chose them, it don't mean that he or she needs to walk with you for the rest of your life. You may have chosen them for a particular season. And it's not that I'm condoning separating or divorce. No, what I'm saying is that some people have to make difficult decisions when it comes to their relationship and recognize that they chose somebody from a space of brokenness. And so the person that you chose was broken as well. And so as a result, you're in a relationship and both of y'all are effed up. And again, when you start to elevate, when you start to grow, you may outgrow that person. You just might. And that person may not come along for the ride. And so in this situation right here, you're talking about being vindictive. You're talking about you spend time plotting. She said, I don't spend time plotting. But if the opportunity presents itself, I don't turn a blind eye. So you got to do your work. You got to do your work. And when you do your work, you're going to show up as a new you in a relationship. And when you show up as a new you, he's got to make a decision. Is he going to roll with the program, or is he going to make a decision to do a different type of dance because you've chosen to take a different step? What you laughing at?
I'm looking at my YouTube family and some of y'all's comments. Kiana said, this is when you was doing a little exercise breakdown. She said, I have a Planet Fitness membership, but don't go. Oh, yeah. High five. I know all about that. Yeah. All right. So
my next point is this, y'all.
Oh, you ain't do the point yet.
Nah. And I had another point, but I'm going to do this point because I think it's extremely important.
Okay.
So relationship truth number 6. Listening, watching, going through the academic process of understanding on an intellectual level is not the only thing that's required for relationship growth. Actually, let me rephrase that. So I didn't write this point down, but it came to me as I was talking. You can't listen and watch your way to relationship success.
Mm-hmm.
You can't listen and watch your way to relationship success. It'll definitely give you insight. It'll give you information. So watching us, I really appreciate it. I really appreciate you sharing the video.
Yeah, keep watching and share this video.
But the reality is that the real work, it occurs in the lab. Yeah. It occurs in the lab of your life. Yeah. And so, the question is, after you finish watching this video, after you finish listening to us, what work are you going to do? What are you going to do? And so you got a challenge that's facing you right now in your relationship. Are you going to make the decision to face it, confront it, man up or woman up and step up to it? Or are you just going to click on one of our other 700-800 videos and watch that? I appreciate you watching, but the reality is that if you're going to shift the dynamic in your relationship, if you're going to change the trajectory of your family, you got to do more than just watch and listen to us. You got to put the work and the effort in your relationship, because ain't nothing going to change by you listening and watching us only. You got to apply what it is that we're talking about in your relationship if you expect to see any results. So again, we asked you earlier, if you look at yourself, what area can you look at in your life and in your relationship and see, where am I being scared to step into a space of vulnerability? Where am I afraid to take a risk? Where? Answer that question and then move in that direction. I'm talking right now, like I'm about to do 100 push-ups after I finish. I don't feel like doing that, but I'm making a decision right now that I'm gonna do 100 push-ups when I finish.
Hold you accountable,
and that's perfectly fine. I did them earlier, but I'm gonna do them again. I'm gonna do it. I don't feel like doing it. I told y'all I'm sore, but I'm gonna still get down on my hands and knees and do these push-ups because I just said I was gonna do them.
Yeah.
And I know I need to do them. I don't want to, but I'm gonna do it. So when it comes to your relationship, again, what are you going to do? What is it that you can do after this video ends that can enhance the quality of your relationship?
So here's your final point, and this is going to perfectly match up with what my husband just talked about, in terms of the fact that you can't watch yourself to growth. You can't watch, and be on the sidelines of anything and expect to get the benefits of being in the game. You cannot do that. And so oftentimes people want to know what's something very concrete that I can do. And this will not be new to you, okay? But for real, 7 days, say yes. All you gotta do is say yes. Yes, 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 yes. I feel like we say no in relationships.
Are you gonna say yes tonight?
Way.
Are you gonna say yes tonight? You can't tell him to say yes. I'm just saying you can't tell him to say yes.
Right here.
I gotta use this right. You can't tell you can't tell him to say yes, and you're not gonna say yes. Can we start today? Go ahead and sing that again.
I just cannot believe you just did that right now. I'm like, literally, y'all see I'm in the middle of my statement?
Yeah. Are you gonna say yes tonight? Are you gonna say yes tonight? As I drink my wine.
You know what? I'm gonna get back to my teaching. That's a whole nother situation. I was feeling saying yes until you come like that with no woo intact, no woo at all, and that's another video for another day. Get your woo game up.
James said game.
That ain't even game, James.
James said game.
That's not game because he's like, you gonna say yes tonight? I'm like,
hold up, I ain't say it like that.
that's how it felt to me. You gonna say yes tonight? Dang, calm down, you know? You know? So anyway, look, I was trying to make a point, and we're gonna be done with this and we're gonna wrap it up. Say yes to almost everything. Look, what's the worst that can happen? You could be pushed outside of your comfort zone. You know, going on our little vacation for our anniversary, and for real, y'all might be laughing at this, but getting on that damn horse. Now, if I had two choices, I could have been like, "Boy, I'm not trying." And you know, I literally, excuse me, I'm burping like a bug. Ooh, excuse me, that was not ladylike. You don't like that I said that? I burped. Is that a problem?
Nah, just go ahead.
You gonna wrap me up about that when we get off this?
I'm still thinking about you saying yes.
Oh my God. So when we were on our vacation, my husband wanted to do these to get on the horses, right? And I was like, that is the last thing I want to do. The last thing. And I actually had very real, true, genuine anxiety about it. And I was like, man, I wanted, like, when we were standing there and the lady was doing her little explanation about it, I'm like, she's going over all kind of stuff, like the horses can go off on their own. If that happens, just turn them back this way and get back in the line.
What was your anxiety about? You know what I'm saying? What were you worried about?
I'm like, dude, first of all, I rode a horse when I was like a kid in camp. Mm-hmm. That's it. She's describing like the horses can go off on their own. I have to be responsible for bringing them back in the line.
You can just jump on the horse.
She's talking about the personality. Shut the hell up. I'm just saying,
if the horse goes
off,
I'm
not going to jump off the horse. I'm not I mean, what are you talking? So I say okay. So anyway, I'm talking about my experience. The bottom line is that I had some anxiety. Okay. And I really wanted to be like, well,
I'm mad at your anxiety.
Like, can you just go on your own? Right? Like, can you just do it yourself? And just imagine that I'm riding there with you. I really want to do that. And I had to deep breathe through that whole joint. You know? I had to deep breathe. So you are always at a crossroads moment in terms of you saying yes or no. It could be something like riding a horse, or it could be like, can you come get in the car with me and let's ride to the store? I don't want to do that. I'm sitting here watching ESPN right now. Shut the hell up and get in the car with her and go to the store. Right? Like, because that's an opportunity to connect. That's an opportunity for y'all to be in the car together and to have some isolated time, not long as it's not during the game, that you might not have otherwise had. Like, these are just like things that are coming up in my mind off the cuff, right? But I'm telling you, just say yes. That's how you take your relationship to the next level. Because there's a lot of things that you say no about, or your energy says no about, or your partner tries to engage you. They try to come at you and give you a little energy. And you're not for it. You're not open to it. And you're saying no. You're leading with no. And you need to lead with yes. That is a concrete action that you can change and that you can hold yourself accountable for. Say yes. You ain't going to want to. Lord knows I didn't want to with them damn horses. One horse was biting a horse in the butt. Remember that? I mean, it was just ridiculous. Because and then the horses getting mad. Somehow they can kick and they might kick and rear up. Kiana, I got kicked in the head by a horse when I was 7. I ran behind it while at my family reunion. Traumatized me for life. Girl, I'm glad I didn't read this comment before we got on the horses. Because I wouldn't have, that'd have been a crossroads moment. I'd have said no. I appreciate you sharing, Kiana. Look, guys, at the end of the day, I love Crystal. Crystal says that she's going to take on this challenge of saying yes for the next 7 days. Next 7 days with your partner, say yes. That means they want to have a conversation you don't want to have, say yes. They want to have sex and you don't want to really have it, say yes.
What if that's the only question they ask? I mean, if that's the only question that they ask over the course of 7 days, I'm just saying. I'm trying to strategize it.
It hasn't been 7 days since we had sex, okay?
Oh, I know, but I'm just saying for the next 7 days. I'm asking the same question every day. That's going to be the only question I ask. Can I get some?
So, guys, you all get the point, right? All right, Devontae, the realrelationshipexperts.com. We're going to type it in, therealrelationshipexperts.com. But we're going to type that in and pin that to the top so you know how to get in touch with us. If you're in the DMV, make sure you stay connected with us, and not just in the DC area, because we like to come to other areas where we can connect with folks and, you know, get together and vibe and talk and teach and learn, because we learn so much from you all. So we hope that tonight something has resonated with you, and you will take whatever resonated with you and make that thing really, really, really true for your relationship, for yourself, and for your learning and for your growth. As always, y'all, this has been a fabulous Relationship Thursday. We appreciate you guys. We think y'all are great. Remember, we started out with and we ended with, tell the truth. Tell the truth. You got to tell the truth in your relationship. And sometimes we don't want to do it. Sometimes we don't want to take the risk. But what do we say in one of our points? If you're not taking risks and you're not failing, you're not growing. So you got to be willing to do that. Thank you so much for the thanks, Stephanie and Shay and Devontae. We are going to put our website when we, you know, stop this. But remember that on Empire, y'all. Tell the truth. Tell the truth.
So what's up with that?
Tell the truth. Oh, Lord, y'all. He's trying to, look, we being inappropriate. Bye, y'all. We see y'all later. Okay. Stop. Turn off the thing. Bye.
All right, y'all.
See you, Shay.